Welcome, my trailblazers. Last day of the Pathology Visions Conference from San Diego, reporting live to you from a live stream. This one's gonna be a short one, but I definitely don't regret coming here. The updates from the conference are that there were more than 1,000 subscribers, I wanted to say, attendees. This is the biggest PathVisions to date. They are growing every year. Last year, I think it was 800 people. Now it's over 1,000, and they're expecting a few walk-ins today. I'm gonna switch on the chat so that I can see your messages if you're there. So that's one thing. So the biggest PathVisions to date. So this is the biggest digital pathology conference in the US and in the world. So if you're interested in digital pathology, this is the place to be. And as I told you for the last past days, the through line is pixels to patients. So we have the infrastructure figured out more or less. People are collaborating. We're trying to be more interoperative. And now, well, not now, it was from the very beginning, it was with the patient in mind. But now actually we prepared the baseline, the floor to do it. And I hope I'm not gonna cry because the keynote was pretty moving. So the keynote was by Dr. Leah Joseph and by Dee O'Brien. So Dr. Leah Joseph is a pathologist. She was a guest on the Digital Pathology podcast, and what she did, and Didi and Lija, they were both patients as well. So they were talking about their experience, and it always fascinates me how a pathologist is experiencing cancer. I hope I can maybe interview more pathologists who had cancer. How do they go through their cancer journey? But the long story short, even though they know, even though they diagnose cancer all day long for a living, when they are the patient, they experiencing everything as any other patient experiences. So there's a poem the Digital Pathology Association published from this keynote on LinkedIn. So I encourage you to go and check their website. Let's see if you can see, website and LinkedIn feed as well. They were posting from the conference. So A Patience If Only by Dee O'Brien. They were my life, my everyday. Oh my goodness, I cannot read it through without starting to cry, but let me try. They were my life, my everyday. I'd lose them soon, I knew. As each one's journey took its turn, I asked, what can I do to find a way to keep them longer, more laughter, love to share, more memories that would sustain me when they're no longer there. Okay, breathe. To understand the path they're on, to comfort them, but how? So many questions left unanswered. Why him? Why her? Why now? It's natural curiosity and need to learn to see, to not just accept as simply what will be, will be. If we could understand the mystery behind their time to go, we could embrace each other's journeys if only we could know. Okay, let me calm down now from the crying from the poem. Anyway, what I want to say with this is not necessarily cry online, which sometimes happens when I hear these moving stories, but what they conveyed with this keynote, and I heard a lecture by Dr. Lija last year's at the Digital Diagnostics Summit, is that pathologist can be a part of patient care. And what Dr. Joseph did, she opened or organized a patient pathology clinic, like open hours where patients can look at their slides. She or one of her pathologists is going to sit with the patient and tell them what's on the slide, why what they see on the slide is guiding the treatment in this way or another way, why maybe they had to have more procedures than just one procedure by showing them the margins in some of the sections were not clean, but basically like showing them tangibly what these cells look like. And she shared other stories as well, like that people figure out different way of coping with the situation, with trying to heal themselves. And one of them, pretty powerful, and it has been already proven in clinical trials, that visualization and the like power of placebo, so to say, power of mental work on your condition can help you heal, can help you enhance the drug efficacy. But one person wanted to just have a picture of this tumor on their medicine bottle, to every day look at it and imagine this very image of the tumor shrinking. So like giving this possibility to the patients, giving these pixels, these digital uh, whole slide image pixels to the patients in one way or another. Obviously, this is a complex environment, the medical environment, but patients are part of the care journey. They are more and more educated, understand more and more, and have better tools to understand it. So, including them in this journey is just gonna like even more, and being there for them as a pathologist as well, because the pathologist is always seen as the behind the scenes doctor, the one that provides information um, to the treating physician. But as she showed in her example, they are now partner in patient care, and it's important for the patients to understand. So um, and obviously this is digital pathology conference, so I think she does it on a multi-headed scope and shows it to the patient. um, no, I think it's on the screen, that she projects it from the microscope to the screen, and then she shows on the screen. So this is already one way of digitization, but this could be done, and the patients have to come in person. But digital pathology could totally be leveraged for that, for remote consultations like that, for remote education of patients like that. So the power of digital pathology uh, in connecting the patients with the pathologists, with whatever like led to the a particular treatment that they are now undergoing. Um, this is like next level. So, and she's next level. Both of the speakers were next level. So, if you are not at the conference, and um, when DPA, Digital Pathology Association, releases their recordings, and if they're available for purchase, definitely purchase. If you're even like remotely thinking about digital pathology, um, just go through what people are talking about here, because this is the cutting edge. This is what's happening now. They want to be here. They want to present it. They want to tell you what's happening. So yeah, after the a little bit emotional update on the keynote, let me give you more technical updates, because I had the so here I had the honor to be a host for a podcast with Dr. Joseph. So I know her, and she was sitting behind me yesterday in one of the lectures, and then she taps me on the shoulder and says hi. And so many digital pathology trailblazers did that. So thank you so much. I know that this can be intimidating when somebody's like walking with the camera trying to record. I know people don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. So I know people like removing themselves from the field of view when I'm creating content. But then when the camera is off, a lot of people just tap me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I listen to your podcast. Hey, I watch your videos. I look at what you create on LinkedIn." So this basically keeps me going. So a big thank you to all the digital pathology trailblazers who are here, who are tuning in virtually, and it just makes my work worthwhile. Like every time I experience something like that, I want to keep going. So then now the more technical stuff, and these are just fragments. What I'm gonna do for you, because obviously I didn't attend all the lectures. I attended the ones I could, but I am definitely going through all the recordings once they are available, and they're going to be in a comprehensive write-up about this. I know that Signify Research is going to have a write-up on this, so go to their website. Pathology News, their medical writer, is here capturing every important information from this conference. So all the digital pathology media outlets are working hard for you to get the most up-to-date information, even if you're not attending in person. So then I go to this lecture. That was the lecture I told you about yesterday, about how veteran administration and the joint pathology centers are embracing digital pathology, embracing AI. And then on one hand, on one side, I have Kenneth Philbrick from Google, from Google Research. Um, and then on the other side, I have David Clooney. So no, first I had Kenneth. I spoiled the story, but whatever. So Kenneth is on my right, and I'm asking him, "Hey, Kenneth, what are you presenting this year?" Because last year Google presented their an environment for developers for developing AI models. So this year I'm like, "Kenneth, are you presenting?" I was, "Of course I'm presenting." What time? Oh, today at whatever time, like at 2 o'clock. I don't know. Just don't. I don't remember, but I remember that I would have to be at the airport. So I'm like, shoot, I will miss your presentation. So he opens the laptop and shows me the presentation, which he did last year as well. So you guys are fantastic, everybody who's here and showing me their presentations in private if I can't attend the talk. This is amazing, and thank you so much. So he shows this presentation and tells me about, oh, there is this new version of DICOM. It's called JPEG XL, and he shows me how this new format can compress and decompress, lossless decompression. Like the DICOM discussions are very technical, so excuse my superficiality on this particular topic, but it was just so funny. So he talks about how this fantastic, this format is so great, and how he likes it, and how he is glad that it compresses. You can compress up to 30% of the image, and if you know, like these images are huge. Like one of them can, like a full resection, can be as much data as a 2-hour HD movie. So this is serious, right? So if you figure out a format that can compress it and recompress it, fantastic. And then David Clooney comes, passes, and sits on my other side, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, David, you guys have this new JPEG XL," and he's like, "Let's see what kind of a disaster it's gonna be." And I'm like, "What? You're like the medical image format expert. You like live and breathe DICOM." And they basically, obviously, as with every technology, there are different sides of the same coin. And Kenneth was pretty enthusiastic, and they both said that, "Oh yeah, I'm like more glass half full, and he's more glass half empty on this one." And obviously, reality and the implementation in integration is gonna show. But it was so cool to just like have these two experts on this particular topic, like not arguing, but like having this disagreement with each other, and that was so nice. Then I had a chance to sit with David a little bit longer after the when they were closing the exhibit hall. I was I missed dinner, and then the people who were cleaning the dishes, they I just asked one of them, "Hey, do you have any food left?" Because I was so hungry. And he was so fantastic. He said, "What do you like? What do you want? What do you eat?" And I'm like, "I eat anything. I'm just like very hungry because I missed the meal times." And he goes to the kitchen and brings me out a full tray of one of these snacks that uh, they were giving during the exhibit hall opening. I thought that was so sweet. That was just so nice. So I had that for dinner. Maybe on my end, I should plan better and make healthier choices. But on the other hand, I thought this was really heartwarming as well. So I have this like plate of these rolls or whatever that was, and David was there, so we talked a little bit, and he was explaining to me about what the consequences of JPEG XL might be, and it comes down, or at least the thing I understood the best was that it comes down to color and color representation. And oh my goodness, the color question in digital pathology, uh, like it's like almost a philosophical discussion. So I recently had a guest, Tom Kimpe from Barco, and they have medical displays, medical grade displays, and one of the displays that they have, I don't know, they probably have more, but one of the ones that they were showing at their booth was specific for digital pathology, and we had like a really long podcast, 1.5 hour, on the importance of color, and he was explaining the color spaces, and like, oh my goodness, diving deep into color for medical imaging is like next level of expertise. And obviously both Tom, my podcast guest, and David have this expertise, so he was trying to explain the color to me and why JPEG may cause trouble. And basically what he told me that the color information in the normal DICOM is kind of like assigned to all tiles when you do the format and then compress, recompress, whatever. This color, and it's usually the ICC profile, International Color Consortium profiles. And if you are a color expert and you hear me saying something that is incorrect, just put it in the comment and tell me, okay, at this timestamp you said something and actually it's something else. Like, don't hesitate to correct anything that needs to be corrected. Just, we do it respectfully, and then everybody benefits. So yeah, the normal DICOM has like this color information applied to the whole all the tiles. So if you like compress tiles and recompress, they get the same color information. Let's assume it's the International Color Consortium profile, and each tiles get that. When you do the JPEG XL, you would need to have this color profile with every tile, and that significantly increases the size of the tile, because sometimes tiles are very small, but the color profile will have to go with each tile, like it's the same color profile, and sometimes it can exceed the size of the tile. So what do? Like, you somehow kick it out, and then when you recompress, it may look different color wise. So who takes responsibility for the color reproducibility? And like, when I was listening to him, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like a whole not philosophical, it's physics, but to me it sounds like philosophy a little bit on the color. And I always remember, uh, so for pathologists the information in the color is crucial, but I also remember an instance where I had two monitors with different IHC slides, and I was working. I don't know what I was doing, why I even had two slides on two monitors. Usually I just use one, but there was an audit as well, and an auditor came to me and asked these questions, like, why, like, you have two monitors, these colors look differently. And my response was, well, yes, they do, but also the slide is a self-referencing entity. So when I am looking at the slide, I know what is the level of my background, and it doesn't really, for my evaluation, for my scoring, um, like, it's like it has to be good enough. So the monitor, the screen has to be high quality, and I have to see the necessary color gamut that I can perceive. But if it looks slightly different on a different monitor, I still have my information to compare to, like if something is hypereosinophilic, basophilic, darker, lighter, all this stuff is within this slide. I compare it to other things in this slide. And that kind of tracks with, okay, you may have the medical monitor, everything, ICC profiles. Your light in the room is different than in another room. It looks differently. That's why I'm like, so many variables for this color thing, that what I need to do, I need to invite two color experts. Maybe I should invite Kenneth and David so that they can have a debate. Let me know what you think about this debate concept. If I see them today, I'm going to ask them. If no, I'm going to reach out to them online and see if they would be open for a debate. So that was on the technical update. Let me see if I have any notes. Yeah. Obviously, cytology. Cytology is another thing that is now being better supported by the digital pathology vendors. So let me just fact check something for you, because I need to fact check it. Give me 1 second. I'm checking a company of a scanner. Yes, okay, so I have it right. Hologic. Hologic is a scanner for cytology now, and it's FDA cleared system. It's called, let me tell you, it's called Genius Digital Diagnostics System, and you can diagnose now from tiles. So what does that mean, diagnose from tiles? And if you're doing cytology, pathology, you know, but like in anatomic pathology, you scan the whole slide and you like do as if it was a map, right? In cytology, you can do the same, but it's going to take you so much time because you go higher magnification. These are single cells, and if you have to search for them in the whole slide, it's less of a pattern recognition exercise and more of cell feature recognition. So you have to go on the cellular level. So what happens is that there's also AI. So one company that does that is AI XMed. They have a solution for urine cytology, and working on some other solutions. But basically what they do, they run an algorithm that recognizes cells or recognizes specific characteristics of cells. It can label it or just recognize them, and gives you a bunch of tiles. So you don't have to go to the whole slide, and I have it in a video that I recorded yesterday with Hologic, how it looks. You can go to the slide and zoom in and zoom out and look for it yourself, but you don't have to, and it's so much easier. So this is something that's being done in hematology. At least I know it from veterinary hematology, when you scan, you get the like a bunch of tiles with cells, and you can recognize the cells immediately. And basically, if you have like one or how many, depending on the scoring, confirmatory tiles, you don't have to go to the full slide. So it speeds it up significantly. So cytopathologists, everybody who needs digitization for cytology, be happy, because there are solutions and other solutions. Obviously, Aprilia has a scanner that does that, and they did a collaboration with Core Plus in Puerto Rico on pap smear screening with an AI algorithm that does 100% QC of the slides, which now industry standard is 10% QC. Now they do 100% and are finding additional cases for evaluation. Then there was also a person I talked to that is implementing this kind of algorithms in Latin America and India. So, and that's another testimony or something that fits very well into the through line of from pixels to patients, because cytology is a procedure that does not require you to create to get tissue, right? It's like procedure that can be done in the practice and can be immediately put on slide and immediately digitized. So you basically, cytology, you skip the whole block preparation and slide. Well, you still prepare a slide that you would need to digitize, but it's like directly from patient to slide. So you can stain it bright then and there, digitize it as well, and evaluate. So, and not only digitize and evaluate, you can also show this to the patient if you feel like it. And obviously, that's depends on the relationship with the patient and the healthcare provider. But let me give you my story. So, my story. I don't know how much of this story I want to share, but basically, one time when I went to the doctor, they did a cytology on me and they showed it to me under the microscope, and I kind of like coaxed them into showing it to me by showing them, hey, on my Instagram, I'm a veterinary pathologist. Like, I understand the cells. Look what I have on my Instagram. It's all cells and different like lesions and stuff like that. So basically, they took me with them to the microscope. It wasn't digital or anything. They took me to the microscope and I could look at what they were looking at, and they found it like nice, warm. It wasn't that like, oh, well, like, why do you want to know this? Why are you like, what are you checking me as a doctor? Totally not this vibe. It was more like collaboration. Oh, so you have the background knowledge to actually look at this and understand what's there. Then why not? So basically, they met me at my level. And I think that's super important in this discussion. Okay, how do you work with patients to empower them but not to overwhelm them? And many people who are here are pathologists, doctors, or have some medical knowledge, so they will perceive care and treatment differently than somebody who does not have medical background. So the key thing here for me would be to meet the patient at their level, and there are like as many levels that patients are as many patients, right? And this is like this empathy, um, something that is crucial to be able to empower the patients with the right information in the right form. And that brings me to like the tail end of the topic of today is like, okay, what about AI? What about the future? So along those lines, AI, well governed and with all the cybersecurity regulation and all the guardrails that we need to put in place. And this is going to be something that can bring back the relationship between doctor and patient. So something that is being cited a lot, and I experience it every time I go to the doctor. Like, they ask you 5 times the same thing. They make you register online and fill on the questions. And I would think, okay, then it goes to the electronic health records and they have it and they greet you and say, oh, I see you are 40 years old and have 2 kids and whatever. No, they ask you the same question again. Like, let me not get on my soapbox to talk about that, because I obviously read a lot of books on how this should be changed, and it still is not changed in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, where I went to the doctor last time to have a mammography. But let me go back to my train of thought. AI, right? So I went to another conference where they were talking about the AI ambient recording. So basically, that the doctor talks to the patient and there is a recording happening. Obviously, there need to be a consent for that. But from this recording, the notes are being created for the doctor, for the doctor that is doing the physical exam, interviewing the patient, for other specialists that might need to be involved in care, and also for the patient. Uh, and I don't know if that's already happening, but to me, for example, the potential would be, okay, the AI is hearing the patient speak, so, and hearing the way they talk about their condition. So from that information, you can already extract, okay, what is going to be the way to present the healthcare information to this person. Obviously, it's going to be in the way they communicate, right? Because this is the way they understand. So this, for example, then applied to pathology reports, to pathology, the clinics that Dr. Joseph is organizing, and everything. So it is the missing link. It could be the missing link to making patients more empowered, but also part of the caregiving team. So let me tell you like a sad story what I experienced 2 years ago that was kind of, I don't know, I experienced it as inappropriate. Anyway, let's hope I don't cry. So in 2023, my mom had an accident and she was in a hospital. And she had a traumatic brain injury. She was in a coma for 2 weeks and she didn't make it. And with my sister, we would go and so we live very close to the German border. And she went for a bike trip to Germany because they have beautiful bike paths, and fell off a bike and went to the hospital there. So that's why we were going to the hospital in Germany to visit her every day. And I speak fluent German. I did my PhD in Germany, and obviously I'm a veterinary pathologist. I can read medical papers, and not only that, my cousin at that time, she was an anesthesiologist at one of the hospitals in Berlin. So I would like consult her on everything, and then go and ask the doctors, and like just talk to the doctors. They felt pretty intimidated, and at some point, the uh, the chief doctor basically called me and said that I'm not supposed to ask so many questions because this comes across as interfering with care, which like I had zero like care suggestions. It was like my questions about like, okay, what happened, what is the plan, what are the potential outcomes from the best to the worst. um, but yeah, we were briefly considering filing a complaint. Uh, then we didn't decide to do it because whatever. But I would not wish anybody to experience something like that. And regardless, like at which level of healthcare savviness you are. And obviously, if you're a doctor yourself, veterinarian, any kind of medical professional, you're not going to be at the same level as a non-medical professional. So I would expect the care provider to meet me at that level. And that was the message at PathVisions, to be there for the patients, also as a pathologist with special initiative like Dr. Joseph's initiatives, because it matters. Yeah, I don't know. A few of heavy topics here in this live stream, but I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining me, and I talk to you in the next episode.